My name is Isaac F. Davis, and I would like to welcome you to WCA's annual Black History Month Assembly. Today, I will be presenting a special segment called Up From Slavery. Up From Slavery is the story of what may be the greatest African American generation, blacks born during the final decades of U.S. slavery, and their unprecedented trajectory of options and successes. The exhibition draws both its title and spirit from Booker T. Washington's 1901 autobiography, Up From Slavery, which remains in print for more than 110 years after its turn of the century debut. The first person we are going to talk about today is Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington was born into slavery in Franklin County on the tobacco plantation of James Burroughs. While Washington professed to know almost nothing of his ancestry, he recalled with great clarity and emotion the day of emancipation and the tears of joy that rolled down from the cheeks of his mother Jane. The scope and gravity of their changed status soon weighed on the family, who moved to West Virginia to work in the region's salt furnaces and coal mines. Washington had a burning desire for education. Washington traveled to Hampton Institute with a mere 50 cents in hand, but an already well-developed work ethic that impressed teachers and administrators alike. After graduation, Washington assumed the administrative position at the school in 1881, was tapped by the Institute's founder, General Samuel C. Armstrong, to head up Tuskegee Institute in Tuskegee, Alabama. The material and philanthropic challenges posed by Tuskegee Institute were formidable, but Washington was up to the challenge. Also challenging was the need to navigate the difficult waters of race, economics, politics, and region in the post-Reconstruction United States. Despite these rifts, Booker T. Washington was the leading black public figure in America from 1895 to 1915. He served as principal of Tuskegee Institute from 1881 until his death in 1915. Washington's Franklin County birthplace is a National Historic Monument managed by the National Park Service. The next person we are going to talk about is a black woman named Sarah Jones, born into an affluent black family in Albemarle County during the final year of U.S. slavery. Sarah Jones went on to become the first African American and the first woman of any race to be licensed to practice medicine by the Virginia State Board of Medicine. She was originally a teacher at Richmond's Baker School, where she also met her husband, Miles. The couple married in 1888. A married woman, Jones soon turned her aspirations to medicine. Both she and her husband received their degrees from the Howard University College of Medicine and practiced in Richmond. The medical needs of the local African American community were compelling and led Jones to confound Richmond Hospital and medical institutions staffed by white and black doctors and serving black female patients. Soon after, a training school for nurses was established within the hospital. Sarah Jones suffered an untimely death in 1905, and the community felt her loss deeply. Interestingly, her obituary noted, among other things, the fairness of her skin and the imperceptibility of her African heritage. The hospital that Jones co-founded was eventually relocated and renamed Richmond Community Hospital in 1995. It was originally acquired and became Bon Secours Richmond Community Hospital. Despite its changes in name and location, the pioneering legacy of Dr. Sarah Jones lives on. The last person we are going to talk about today is another black woman named Elizabeth Kingsley. Elizabeth Hobbs Kingsley was born into slavery in 1818 at the Dwinwiddle Courthouse. As a teen, she was loaned to her owner's son in Hillsborough, North Carolina, where she endured brutal floggings designed to humble her rebellious spirit. Ironically, it was one of Burwell's daughters who was responsible for Kingsley's return to Virginia, and for bringing her into St. Louis, where the family migrated in hopes of a better life. It was in St. Louis that Kingsley distinguished herself as a dressmaker and was able to support her owner's family, and was eventually able to earn $1,200 required to purchase freedom for herself and her son in 1860. In 1860, Kenckley moved to Baltimore and 6 months later to Washington, D.C., where her clientele grew to include Mary Todd Lincoln. As Mary Todd Lincoln's exclusive clothes maker, traveling companion, and confidant, Kenckley was intimately acquainted with the Lincoln household and the grief caused by the Civil War and Abraham Lincoln's assassination. The publication of Kenckley's 1868 memoir, Behind the Scenes, or 30 Years a Slave and 4 Years in the White House, caused irritable damage to her relationship with Mary Todd Lincoln. Predictably, Kenckley's business suffered as she lived in her final years on the small pension she received because of her son, George, had died serving the Union Army. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, Up from Slavery, provided by the Black History Museum in Richmond. And remember to make your mark in history. My name is Isaac F. Davis, and have a great, fantastic day.